I am now 2 months into my job search for a new tech sales AE role as my role moved across the country to Austin, Texas. I live in Philadelphia. I was walking my dog Jersey behind me here around a park, and I was thinking about the last 2 months, what it's been like, and I jotted down some raw thoughts on the tech sales job market, so bear with me. The past 2 to 3 years, we have been in layoff season. Whenever you watch the news, go on LinkedIn, you're seeing more and more people with the open to work green banner on LinkedIn. You're seeing more and more LinkedIn posts where people were laid off at big, large tech companies. Just this week, I think Meta laid off 2,000 people. It hasn't been good. And the reason why we got here is back in 2019, 2020, 2021, money was cheap. Companies were hiring like crazy. And unfortunately, most of them overhired. And now they're trying to correct it. And there's been this rise due to COVID. There's been this rise of remote work where now people, a lot of people that I know, have decided, you know what, I'm not going to live in San Francisco anymore. It's too expensive. I'm not going to live in New York anymore. I'm still going to work at Salesforce or IBM or Google, but I'm going to move to Kentucky where it's a low cost of living area. And now companies caught on to that and they're adjusting salary-wise, and they're adjusting by saying, hey, we're now instilling a return to office policy where if you want to work here, you have to come back into the office, which is really a disguise for we're laying you folks off. Now, what this has done is now there is so much competition for these tech sales roles. Like there wasn't back in 2020 because there were so many openings. But there might be now 10 openings compared to 100 back 4 or 5 years ago. And for those 10 openings, there are thousands, guys. Thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people applying to these roles, especially if they're remote first. If you are looking for a remote first job in tech sales, it is going to be so difficult to get that role because the talent pool is so big. You're going to have a much easier time. I know this is what I'm focusing on. I'm going to have a much easier time focusing on a job that might be on site in the Philadelphia market. Much easier than a job that's remote with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of other candidates. Now, the Philadelphia market isn't, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, we're not a tech hub. We don't have a lot of tech companies, so my options are a bit limited in that sense. But I'll have a much easier time finding a job that is hybrid than a job that is fully remote. The hiring process, guys, is absolutely out of control. 5-6 rounds, it's typically like this. You're going to meet with a recruiter. After that, if they like you, you'll meet with the hiring manager. You'll then do a panel interview. You might then have a call or a conversation with the CRO or a VP of sales. And then after that, you might have to do some sort of mock discovery, mock cold call, whether it's an SDR or AE role. 6-7 rounds, it is absolutely ridiculous when back 3-4 years ago, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze here. About to sneeze, Jersey. Excuse me. When 3-4 years ago, it was 2 to 3 rounds worth of reference checks. If you don't know if you want to hire somebody after the second or third time speaking with them and you're making them jump through all these hoops, do hours, what am I trying to say? Hours of preparation and dedication to get a job where you have to put, an hour-long presentation together. It is absolutely ridiculous, but this is the market that we're in, and it's an employer's market. It's not an employee's market like it was 4 to 5 years ago. But from what I've been hearing and seeing and experiencing in these interview processes, and I know it might sound like I'm complaining, but I just think it's absolutely ridiculous the amount of time, effort, work, preparation, dedication that you have to put into impressing and getting a job. Just my thoughts. And then we get to the ghost jobs. So you might see jobs on LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn. I think I saw a stat the other day that like 40 to 50% of those jobs are completely fake. I know roles right now on LinkedIn that are fake, that are not real, and I know it for 100% fact, but they're on there maybe as a placeholder. It's so stupid that some of these companies now, they might hire someone internally, but it's their company policy where they have to go and post that job on LinkedIn and get a certain amount of hits. It doesn't make much sense to me, but most of these jobs, guys, are ghost jobs. Like for me, I'm not even looking at any of those jobs whatsoever. All I'm doing is I'm finding companies I want to work at. I don't even know if they have a job opening. And I'm prospecting into potential hiring managers or other sales reps to see if a conversation might make sense, to see if I might be a fit to join the team. Has it been working? It has, but it's been slow. It has been very, very slow for me the past 2 months, slower than I was expecting. I'm not getting as many conversations as I was expecting or hoping to get 2 months into the job search, but it is what it is. There's so many factors obviously out of my control, out of your control. The economy obviously sucks right now. Just go look at the stock market. But I think it's going to take a decent amount of time for me to find the right role where I have a good shot to win. And I'm very strict with my criteria. I'm not just going to work anywhere. Like if you've been watching these videos, you know what my criteria is. Working for a sales leader who's a sales coach first, a sales manager second, where 40% of the account executives in the role have been there at least 2 years, and 40% of the AEs who left stayed at least 2 years, selling a must-have product, not nice to have, where it's the top, if not the top product in its product category. That's what's important to me, because I know if I'm put in that position over time, if I'm given the opportunity over time, I will win, I will be successful, I will make quota, I will make a lot of money. But it's going to take some time for me to find a job like that. Who knows, guys? Maybe I might be lucky at some point here. But it's brutal, the job market. It is brutal. And I was talking to somebody the other day, a mentor of mine, and he said, hey, man, I know guys that are way more experienced than you, have been around the game for 20, 30 years, and they're struggling to get a job. Just be picky, but the merry-go-round for these jobs doesn't go around twice. So I think at some point, if we're like 3 months down the line from now and I'm still out in the job market looking for a role, I might have to ease up on my criteria. But man, oh man, it's been tough. So the two big observations are it's brutal. And in order to get a new job, there's only two ways. You either have to prospect your way into that job or you have to know somebody. And knowing somebody is the golden ticket right now. And I'm pretty well networked, but it's been slow, man. It has been slow. If I could go back in time, I would do a lot more networking in the Philadelphia market than I was. And I think I'd be a little bit further along right now in the job search. But stick with me. I'm sticking with you guys. We'll get through it. It just is what it is right now. It's unfortunate, but it is absolutely brutal. So when you guys do see these videos on YouTube and TikTok and LinkedIn about how easy it is to break into tech sales and all these things about how you do this and that and you'll get a job within 30, 60, 90 days, it's complete BS. You know, every situation's different. A lot of luck is going to be involved in something like this. But if you're just doing the right thing, spending an hour a day prospecting and having networking conversations, something will pop. Just a matter of time. But the tech sales job market right now, guys, is brutal.